Hi everybody, it's Denny here from Angel Handmade Papercrafts. Today I am working with La La Land Crafts and I'm using the March 2020 Club Kit. So in this Club Kit there is some really gorgeous stamps. So it comes with one Marcy stamp, which is the Marcy with ice cream, and it also comes with 3 gorgeous little unicorns, which is called What's the Scoop. You also do get a couple of dies as well, so you get the ice cream and you get the You Are Sweet, as well as quite a few sentiments. So I'm stamping the images out onto some Express It blending card just using my Misty stamping tool and some Memento Tuxedo black ink. I am going to colour the images up using Copic markers, so hence why I've used my Memento. So I'm just stamping all of those out, working out, making sure that everything is going to stamp exactly where I need it to. And one just fell off my Misty. Obviously I didn't push hard enough. Applying all of the ink, making sure they get a nice good coat. And I did stamp them a second time. I didn't push hard enough, so alright, let's get started. So I'm colouring them up, like I said, with Copic markers. So I'm just working my way through, colouring the skin first and then going on from there. So I just showed you my Copic marker. The end of it was all white. That means it is empty and it needs to be refilled. So this is what I'm interrupting the video to fill up one of my Copic markers. So I do actually have 2 of the E000, so I did refill both of them at the same time. So I just use the Copic nib tweezers to pull the chisel tip out. I just drop in the drops of ink. I don't worry about a needle or anything like that. Just be very careful. And I'm just using some isocol to clean the outside of the markers, just using a Q-tip. I don't use this when I actually clean the tips of the markers, only the actual outside, the plastic bit. If your tips need to be clean, I suggest that you do use Copic Zero Colourless Blender. That will make sure that your markers don't get ruined. So on the outside of the marker, it shows you which way the chisel end goes back in. So just make sure you're following those instructions. Okay, we're all filled up. Let's get started. I'm going in with my E04 marker, laying out all of the darkest areas on the image, and then we'll go working our way down and blending all of that out. As we lay down each of the colour, I'm just gradually pulling in a little bit more of each. So now some E11, pulling all that out, and then finally I'll go in with my E21. This is my R20, just adding in some cheeks, which I'll blend out as I'm working my way through. La La Land Crafts is one of the stamp companies that I have been purchasing from since I first started card making. So I love getting these kits every month. It's quite fun. And Irina is always designing such fantastic images. I don't know where her creativity comes from. Oh, sorry guys, it's 7 o'clock at night and I'm already yawning. I've been at work today and then I've got a long day tomorrow at work. Okay, so I'm going in and colouring her hair. So I'm using the E70 markers. So I'm using E74, 77 and 79. And I'm just laying down all the lightest colour first to make sure that I don't accidentally colour in the headband, which I've done before. And then I'll go in from darkest to lightest and start blending all that out. I'm colouring her hair in chunk style, so each section of hair I'm going to colour in chunks and then I'll blend each one of those out. So I do try to colour in small sections, that way it doesn't dry too much. It's always good to keep blending as your Copics are still a little bit moist. Helps them blend out a little bit better. So just pulling all that out. I haven't super sped this up. I still wanted you guys to be able to watch all of the colouring, so this video is about 15 minutes long, so I do apologise if you don't want to watch the Copic colouring. You're more than welcome to speed your way through to the card process. So I'm almost done with the hair. I'm just doing the last couple of sections now. I I didn't really have any rhyme or reason for the colours that I was using. I just sort of colour as I go, and then I do the difficulty of trying to find papers to match after the fact. So I want to give her a cute little denim skirt, so I'm using my B90s. So I'm using B93, 95, 97 and 99. It sounds like a lot of colours, but you're not laying down a lot of each one, so it's always nice having that transition. So I started with the lightest colour, then I put in the darkest colour, and then I'm working my way back to the lightest. Making sure to get a nice smooth blend, and then blending it all out. And I decided I was going to give her a nice denim headband as well, just to match her little skirt. I thought it would be cute. I'm using some of my skin colours to do the ice cream cone, and then I'm going in with my Zero Colourless blender to add all of the like waffle sort of pattern to the cone. And I'm going in with my R80 markers to do the little bow in her headband. So I'm using 81, 83 and 85. And then I'm going to use those same colours to do her shirt. And blending all of that out. So I do pretty much the same process. I lay down my lightest colour, go back to my darkest, and then go darkest to lightest. I'm now doing the ice cream. I decided I wanted to have some peppermint choc chip, one of my favourite ice creams. So we're doing some green ice cream, and then we're going in with an E79 to do some chocolate chips. For her little boots, I'm using E21 and E11. And then I'm just laying a little bit more colour down and doing it again. Finally, going in with my white Uni-Ball gel pen, and I'm adding a few details in, giving her some spots on a headband, some cheeks, etc. And now we're going to move on to the gorgeous little unicorn. So I am using my, I don't even know what I used. My T markers. So I wanted the unicorns to be a white grey, so I tried not to lay down too much colour so that when I blended them, it would tone them down a little bit. So I'm just blending all of that out. I'll work my way through each of the unicorns, doing all of the greys, and then I'll go back and do the next section. So laying all that colour down and then blending it all out. Not forgetting to do the little ears, and now we'll go on to the body of the next one. Very repetitive, that's fun. This is the way I like to colour. I call it production line colouring, where you do the same thing for each one and then you go back to the start and you move on to the next section. Now, if you don't have any of the T markers, you can use your N markers, you can use your C markers. Really, you could even use your W markers if you were happy with the tone of that. It doesn't really matter. It just gives them a different look. You could even colour them in with a colour. You know, you can make them pink or purple or whatever. But for me, I wanted to have little grey unicorns. I was hoping this would stand out the colours that I was planning to do for the hair. So here I'm going in with my darker markers. I did actually use T6, N8 and N10. So I didn't actually realise I picked up a T marker, but they all blended, so that's all that matters. So I'm just doing all their hooves, and then we'll go back in and do the next section. Alright, so now we're going to move on and do their rainbow hair. So I wanted them all to look alike so that they could all blend in together nicely. I wasn't sure exactly how many I was going to use on my card. I do actually end up using only 2 of them. So I've got one on the front of my card and then I use another one on the inside of the card. So I've got one more left over to do something else with. So I'm thinking maybe a bookmark or something like that. So blending all that out, doing the reds first, then I'll go to my oranges. I've cut out all my cleaning of my markers in between, but I was actually cleaning my markers as I was going because I did have everything out already. So hence the Q-tips that you keep seeing in the bottom corner there. That's what they were there for. Alright, so my camera actually died in between all of that colouring, so I do apologise, but my unicorns are all coloured up. So this is them all, everybody all finished, and then we're going to move on to the card. So I did go in with my Uni-Ball white gel pen, and every second colour I polka dotted to make it look like it was glittery. So I'm running all my dies through my Big Shot. I've already run the word through, and I'm just running the other ones through now. So I'm just using some Helma liquid adhesive to adhere the cone pieces together and the little cherry to the ice cream cones. And I'm going to go in using my EK Success Cutter Bee scissors. These are my go-to for fussy cutting, and I'm just working my way around, making sure to keep moving the cardstock rather than the scissors. This is what gives you that nice smooth cut. So make sure you're cutting off any big sections as you go. It makes it a little bit easier on your hands to cut. So we're just about done with little Marcy, and then we'll go in and do our unicorns. So don't think that you're silly because you're moving your paper around all over the shop. This is what we do, this is what we enjoy. I do have a Brother laser print, Brother scan and cut. To be honest, I haven't used it since I bought it. I love fussy cutting. I am that creepy person that loves to fussy cut. So moving on to the next one. I don't usually leave a lot of this in because most of the time I've got my images so close to my face when I'm cutting them out that there's no point obviously trying to keep that on camera because you can't see anything anyway. So cutting out my very last one. Oh, and then we will quickly pop the card together. I'm hoping to have this video uploaded tonight, so that will be colouring, card and video all up in one night. Unbelievable. So here I am playing around with them, trying to work out how I'm going to get everything onto the card, and that's when I decided it wasn't going to happen and I had to cut it down to one unicorn. So I've got this paper pad from Kmart. I remembered that I had it as soon as I started putting all the polka dots and stuff on everything. I remembered I had these papers and I thought they would be perfect. So I've cut down the sprinkles and the donuts. I thought it would be all cute to go together. And I'm pulling in some chocolate brown American Crafts cardstock to layer everything. And here is where I realize that I'm losing too much of the sprinkles, so I'm just trimming down another 1/2 centimeter off everything. I'm using the You Deserve a Treat sentiment, and I ran that You Are Sweet through my Big Shot again, just using some pink cardstock, and everything was adhered using my Helma acid-free liquid adhesive. So I thank you all for watching. I hope you will go and check out the Club La La Land Crafts, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye!